he said, "O Ibrahim, are you abandoning my gods? Are you turning away from my gods? If you don't stop this line of questioning, I will certainly stone you." السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا وبعد. All thanks and praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may His peace and blessings be upon His last and final messenger, His family, His companions, and those who follow them until the end of times. The story of Ibrahim alayhi salam begins in the city of Ur, an ancient city in the region of Mesopotamia. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was born into society that was engrossed in shirk. They were engrossed in polytheism. They would worship statues and idols that they shaped, crafted, and carved with their own hands. As a matter of fact, Azar, Ibrahim alayhi salam's father, was someone who used to make idols and sell them. He would actually make and sell the idols that his community worshipped. And from a very young age, Ibrahim alayhi salam was endowed with wisdom, with understanding, knowledge, intelligence, and maturity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ رُشْدَهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَكُنَّا بِهِ عَالِمِينَ. That we gave Ibrahim alayhi salam rushd from a very early age, and we knew that he was deserving of this. Rushd is a very interesting concept. It can be understood as guidance, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, and maturity. That Ibrahim alayhi salam had enough intelligence, had enough curiosity to question the absurd practices and beliefs of his father and community. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam would see his community devoting themselves to inanimate objects, that submitting to them, bowing down before them, asking them for favors, guidance, counsel, and advice, and then serving them food and drink, he found that to be absolutely absurd. His mind could not rationalize it. That how in the world can my own father, how in the world can my own community worship objects that they have shaped, sculpted, and formed with their own two hands? These are rocks, these are stones. They have no life, they have no intellect, they have no might, power, authority, or sovereignty. They can't help themselves, let alone help someone else. They cannot bring any benefit, they cannot prevent any harm. So why in the world is my community, why in the world is my own father worshipping these inanimate objects? In Surah Maryam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala captures a conversation that took place between Ibrahim alayhi salam and his father Azar. And this is a conversation that revolves around questioning his father's false beliefs. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِ لِمَ تَعْبُدُ مَا لَا يَسْمَعُ وَلَا يُبْصِرُ وَلَا يُغْنِي عَنْكَ شَيْئًا. Remember when Ibrahim alayhi salam said to his father, Ya abati, O my dear beloved father, why do you worship that which does not hear, that which does not see, and that which cannot benefit you at all? So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's posing a very direct, a very pointed question to his father. That why in the world are you worshiping a lifeless object, something inanimate? It can't hear what you're saying, it can't see you, and it can't give you any benefit whatsoever. He says, Ya abati, inni qad ja'ani min al-ilmi ma lam ya'tika, fattabi'ni ahdika siratan sawiyya. That, O my dear beloved father, I have received knowledge that you have not received. So follow me, and I will guide you to a clear and straight path. I have received this divine knowledge from Allah. I recognize, acknowledge the existence and oneness of Allah, who is the Lord and creator of this universe and everything it contains. I have received this knowledge and you haven't yet. So follow me. Follow my counsel, follow my advice, follow my beliefs, and I will guide you to a straight and even path. Ya abati la ta'bud ash-shaytan, inna ash-shaytana kana lir-rahmani asiyya. That, oh my dear beloved father, don't worship Satan. Don't fall into Satan worship by worshiping these false idols, statues, and deities. Because Satan has always been rebellious to the most merciful. Ya abati, إني أخاف أن يمسك عذاب من الرحمن فتكون للشيطان وليا. And oh my dear beloved Father, if you continue worshipping these idols, if you continue following in the footsteps of Satan, I fear that a punishment will strike you from the most merciful. And even the choice of words here by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unique. You have a contrast between punishment and Allah's divine mercy. فَتَكُونَ لِلشَّيْطَانِ وَلِيًّا. And if you end up getting punished by the most merciful, you are going to be a companion of Satan and hellfire. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's addressing his father with respect, with honor, with love, and sincere, genuine concern. He wants to save his father. He wants his father to earn salvation just like him. But instead of responding in kind, his father became angry. He became upset. He had a temper. And he said, قَالَ أَرَاغِبٌ أَنْتَ عَنْ آلِهَتِي يَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ لَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهِ لَأَرْجُمَنَّكَ وَهْجُرْنِي مَلِيًّا. That he said, O Ibrahim, are you abandoning my gods? Are you turning away from my gods? If you don't stop this line of questioning, if you don't stop questioning the beliefs of our community and our forefathers, if you don't stop with this advice and counsel, لَأَرْجُمَنَّكَ, I will certainly stone you. So he's threatening him with physical violence, with physical abuse. If you don't stop, I'm going to hurt you physically. وَهَجُرْنِي مَلِيًّا. So leave me for a long period of time. Now imagine how Ibrahim alayhi salam must have felt at that moment. That a child is speaking to his father with love, with compassion, with endearment. He wants what's best for his dad. He wants his dad to be saved, to be amongst the people of paradise. But instead of responding in kind, instead of saying he'll think about it, he'll reflect on it, he responded with anger. He was upset, and he threatened him with physical violence. And essentially, he disowned him. He said, leave us. That leave this community, maliya, for a long period of time. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he responded calmly and wisely, and he said, قَالَ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكَ. He said, Salamun alayk, safety, security, peace be upon you. You will not experience any harm from me whatsoever. No verbal harm, no physical harm, no emotional harm. Salamun alayk. On top of that, سَأَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكَ رَبِّي إِنَّهُ كَانَ بِي حَفِيًّا. I will seek forgiveness for you from my Lord. And my Lord has always been gracious to me. وَأَعْتَزِلُكُمْ وَمَا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَأَدْعُو رَبِّي عَسَىٰ أَلَّا أَكُونَ بِدُعَاءِ رَبِّي شَقِيًّا. And I will leave you. I will abandon you. And whatever you worship besides Allah, وَأَدْعُو رَبِّي. And I will continue worshiping my Lord. I will continue calling upon my Lord. And I trust that I will never be disappointed when I call upon my Lord. This is a very beautiful conversation that takes place between Ibrahim alayhi salam and his father. And there are several lessons that we can extract from this conversation. This shows us that we are supposed to use our minds. We're supposed to use our intellect to question the beliefs, customs, and traditions of our families that might seem irrational, that might seem incoherent. That if there's false beliefs and false practices, we should have the courage to question them, but with wisdom. It's also demonstrating his courage, his bravery, his patience, his willingness to sacrifice because of his beliefs. What I want to focus on is his method of inviting his father towards the truth. That he adopted a method of sincere, genuine care and love. He was gentle, he was soft, he showed sympathy, empathy, compassion, and care. That he addresses his father by saying, Ya abati. In Arabic, this is a term of endearment. This is what you say in a loving manner to your father. That, oh my dear beloved father. Part of Ibrahim's mission, alayhi salam, was to reform the beliefs and practices of his family, of his society. He was supposed to bring them from darkness into light, from misguidance to guidance, from polytheism to tawheed, from associating partners with Allah to worshiping Allah alone without any partners. And despite his hatred, despite his dislike for those false beliefs and those false gods, it didn't turn into hatred and dislike for his father. He maintained that love, he maintained that respect, he maintained that honor. And he spoke to him with a tone of respect, love, and honor. And that is a huge lesson for us, especially those of us who are perhaps involved in the field of da'wah, or we're involved in educating and teaching and mentoring others. That our approach has to be built upon the foundations of sincere, genuine concern. There has to be a level of love there. There has to be a level of wanting what's best for the other person. And we always have to maintain a level of respect and honor. That our language, our tone, our mannerisms, our body language should not be rude, it shouldn't be harsh, shouldn't be abusive or abrasive. That our language should not be a means of driving people further away from the truth. Rather, our language, our tone, our words should bring them closer to the truth. It should bring them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would advise his companions and he would say, Bashiru wa la tunaffiru, yassiru wa la tu'assiru. Bashiru, give people good news. Give them glad tidings. Bring joy and happiness to their hearts. Wa la tunaffiru, and don't drive them away. Yassiru wa la tu'assiru. Make things easy, don't make things difficult. And we see this being modeled in the methodology, the approach of Ibrahim alayhi salam, even when calling his father towards the truth. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to follow in the footsteps of Khalilullah Ibrahim alayhi salam. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina wa mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.